energy, in the
I have
words of
never
Pipes.
heard that. I've never heard that before, bro.
No, man, what's happening? How you been, bro?
Busy, man. I mean, obviously coming
Yeah.
back from Build, which was incredible. And, hey, Birdman, good to see you, bro.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
So good to see you. Obviously coming back from Build and then, getting this being live stream. Got it. Okay. All the work that goes into being a startup company, man, is, you know how that is. You guys all remember what it was like when you first got into the business. And obviously with, me launching this company, it's, exciting, inspiring, overwhelming, all those wonderful, adjectives that describe or adverbs that describe the actions, the activities. Yoakum, good to see you, bro. Great to see you, man.
Well, we're so glad you could jump in and provide value. I mean, man, I am still on a high, pumped up from Build, the value that you brought there. So let's go ahead and just jump right into our content, because most everybody's goal is to earn 7 figures, but there are 3 distinct things that are holding people back. So share just a little bit about yourself and let's just jump right in. Pipes, TD, let's go.
Yeah, and TD, I think it'd be great for us to do a little banter back and forth as we go for these 20-25 minutes. You know what I mean? So because you and I know each other, we've worked together for so many years, and obviously you've been in that 7 figures, multiples of 7. Listen, I'm Coach Pipes, Bill Pipes. I've been in the industry since I was 18 years old, 21 years old, got introduced to Mike Ferry. Guy still sits on my desk every single day. By the way, he's right here. He looks at me, right? So like, I love the fundamentals that Ferry taught, teaches, etc. It really is at the core of what I do believe, but obviously, I also believe in innovation. So I got exposed to Gary Keller, Diana Kokoska, in about 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, did a whole bunch of stuff for work with them with Bold, then went over to TF, to Tom Ferry, right? And Tom and I together got a chance. I met Coach Randy Bird there, obviously, which is one of the greatest blessings of that entire time that I had at TF, right? Then broke away, did some work with Chep, and now got my own gig. And during that time, guys, it really, something had been brewing in my head. I've been brewing, just in a belief system. And I had a conversation with actually TF, with Tom, about this. And we sort of went back and forth and battled on it a little bit. And I said to him, hey, dude, if anyone's going to be in real estate, they need to be playing for 7 figures, Treva. And that is just that is 100% like an honest to goodness, Sierra, belief that I have, that if you are not playing for 7 figures, God bless you, right? Get out of the way and make room for someone that is, right? Because this industry has a bunch of bozos and bozettes in it that are selling 2, 3, 4 homes. It makes our job that much more challenging and that much more difficult, right? Makes the actual perception of real estate agents go down. They're the ones that are cutting their commission in many cases, right? Makes our job, very difficult, right? So now if you say, hey, coach, man, I don't want to make 7 figures. I want to make 500,000. I say, beautiful. That's gorgeous. Do it in half the time. Do it in 20 to 25 hours a week. You know what I mean? So like that's the belief that I have. And having worked with now 30 people that have crossed over $1 million mark, I think there's some mistakes that we make in being able to actually get to that $1 million mark. And I want to start here. It's sort of funny because I had 4 clients hit the wall this in the last 2 weeks. Have you guys ever hit the wall where like mentally you start to break down, emotionally you're sort of gassed, physically like you're getting sick and shit like that? Anyone besides myself ever hit that moment where you're just like, wham, right? And honestly, Ben, like David Swartz, Tammy Crawford, Shay Spitz, like all of them like hit the wall almost simultaneously at the same time, right? And they're all going on this hunt for 7 figures. And what hit them was, and I had to have the conversation is, and I want you guys to write this down, this is not an overnight commitment. It's a 2 to 3 year process. Earning 7 figures is not an overnight commitment. It's a 2 to 3 year process. It's a 24 to 36 month process. In many cases, Don. Even someone that's at, Kristen, that $200,000 to $300,000 mark, see, they come in and I start working with them. They're like, this next year, here we go. Yes, I'm excited, full of energy, and I'm going to make this happen. But what they don't realize is that there's some fundamental changes mentally and emotionally that need to happen with them in the way that they think, right? There's some fundamental changes that need to take place in the practice of their business and the structure of their business, and their skill level is going to need to improve as well too. So anyone that is on this hunt, I would tell them, depending upon where they are, it's 2 to 3 years. Does that make sense, guys? Now, look,
Absolutely. Let me just jump in real quick. You all know Dwayne Johnson, right? So Dwayne Johnson is amazing, but he has a great quote. I just texted this over to a friend of mine because I just came off 75-day hard. And yeah, it was great. I did good, but it's all about consistency. And so Dwayne says success isn't about greatness, it's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. Dwayne Johnson.
love it. So good. And The Rock is the modern day version of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, if you really get down to it, I would not be surprised that the guy doesn't run for office very soon, right? You know what I mean? Because he's got all the backing and everything else. I mean, he is Arnold Schwarzenegger in today's world. So I think that's number one. The number one thing is to recognize that this is going to take some time, right? Okay. Don't give up, right? And inside of that, don't give up, there's a couple of other pieces as well too. And I wrote this down. It's a thing that I'm working on inside my head right here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. It's a little juvenile in how it's written, but that's how most of the things that are amazing to me start, is on a piece of paper that looks like a 5-year-old wrote it. And it's a triangle with a money sign in the middle. And I started thinking about why people earn 7 figures. And I wrote down 3 words. On one leg, it says say. It's what they say, both what they say in their skills to others and to themselves. It's what they do, which is the actions that they take, the schedule that they follow, what they do and they don't do. And it's what they think, what they have going on upstairs, right? And I would tell you, Don, that I think a lot of this commitment to making 7 figures and why certain people do it and don't, is the mistake is, A, they don't realize how long it's going to take, and they don't realize the overhaul mentally that it's going to happen for them. Okay. And I want you to write that down, that you really, right, the reason that you're earning the amount of income that you're earning right now is based upon your current level of thinking. Does that make sense? Why are you earning the money that you earn? Because you chose it. You chose this. I had one of those. I'm going to say this a little quiet because my son's downstairs and I think he's asleep still. They have 2-a-day practices going on right now. And my son missed a couple of practices the last couple of weeks. Didn't miss 2-a-days, and he's a football player. Well, he lost his starting position, right? Because he missed a couple of things. Missed a couple of practices, right? And his conversation with me, Don, was, well, you know what? I haven't taken any vacation. So, there's other kids that have taken vacation. I go, did you communicate this with your coach? He goes, no, I just didn't show up. I go, then dude, you chose not to actually be the starting freaking cornerback for the team because you chose not to be in communication, right? You chose the level of work and practice. And for all of you, it's the same thing. Now, these are the tough conversations I have as a dad with my son because I love him. And it's the same conversation I'll have with all of you because I care about you. I really do, because you're attracted, and like energy is attracted like energy. We're in the foxhole together. You've got to change the way that you're thinking. And really the way that you're thinking, what that is, and please write this down, read as many biographies and autobiographies on men and women that have accomplished great things. Like, I have, honestly, Matthew, I have taken a lot of my personal growth and development books and put them on the way, put them over here and said, okay, yeah, because honestly, like we all know, I mean, Douglas, we all know, like within the course of probably 30 to 40 pages of a personal growth and development book, we got the punchline, right? You know what it is that they're going to say, and you know what they got, et cetera. And it's all sort of the same. But see, when I read about Elon Musk having to actually get his CEOs out with 3 days to go before the company goes insolvent, and they're going to actually go BK. And that's how they actually were able to keep the doors of Tesla open, was because all those guys went out and went salespeople. When I bump against a moment where I'm like, shit, man, my team is falling apart a little bit because they're not doing what I need to do, I think about Elon Musk. I think about Steve Jobs getting fired from his organization, right? I think about Mary Kay and all of these individuals that I've read, because I'm learning to think like them, because I'm watching the path and the process that they went through. Does that make total sense, guys? Yes or no? Okay. See, we don't get the chance to be around a Mary Kay. We don't get the chance to be around
Where are you going?
I'm back.
Look at this library. I love your library.
This is one of my mentors. His name's Walt Disney. Never got the chance to actually spend time with him, but I've actually spent a lot of time with him because this is a very thick book. Yes, I know we hate him, but this was a great book as well too back in the day, right? I actually read about what he did. This book right here, Elon Musk. This one right here about Michael Dell. This book right here about the guys that did and launched HP, the brothers, right? Like all of those individuals, when I'm saying read biographies, it gives you the chance to recognize what it is that they had to do, what they had to go through. So when you bump up against it, you're like, shit, this is just par for the course. Does that make sense, guys? And you begin to actually think a little bit differently because of the fact that you're actually around those individuals. Why is it that I love being around Don and Randy and Tom, right? Like and would jump at the opportunity to be able to do something like this with them. A, I love them. I care about them. I jump in front of a train for them. But B, when I go to lunch, when Don comes into town and we get the chance to be able to go to our sushi spot that we go to every single time, I always walk away more inspired, having learned something and thinking a different way. And if I think a different way, then I'm going to earn a different income. Does that make sense, guys? So that's number one. Is like, I need to recognize this takes time. I need to recognize I'm going to reprogram myself with biographies, reprogram myself with people that I choose to hang around, right? And also reprogram myself on this. Write down the word sacrifice. Sacrifice. How many of you guys were at Build? Okay, about 4 or 5 of you. Okay, those of you that were at Build, you heard me say this. Everyone, all these great personal growth and development gurus and leaders, and I have full respect and amazing love for every single one of them. Majority of them talk about a couple of things. They say in relationship to a goal, and let's say that the goal is 7 figures. In relationship to the goal, you need to know what you want and why you want it. Now, how many of you guys have heard somebody at some seminar in some room talk about the importance of knowing your why? Yeah, it should be like, guys, raise hands. Yes. How many of you guys have ever heard like someone talk about, like, you need to know your why and you got to dig into your why. Okay, cool. That's great. I'm going to challenge that a little bit. Okay. I'm going to challenge it with something that I learned about 25 years ago from Mike Ferry. I want you to write down 3 questions. These are 3 questions I start with. Okay. With every person who says, I want 7 figures, coach. A, what is it specifically that you want? In this case, it's 7 figures of income or whatever your number is. B, what about this is an absolute must and not just a good idea? Why is this an absolute must and not just a good idea? This is, Matthew, a lot different than, well, why do you want it? Okay. Because a lot of times when we go to find your why, it's this altruism, this altruistic component, right? When in many cases, if we change our question that we ask ourselves, we're going to open up different areas of the mind. And when I say to Matthew, what about this? And why is this an absolute Ricardo must? Your brain begins to think a little bit differently. Now, I coach and started coaching a new gal that I used to coach a while back. And Randy, I think you know her, Ahu Kokabali, right? Ahu is in Palm Springs, EXP agent, really wonderful woman. Love her to death. She's incredible, right? And we're having the conversation. I said, no, here's the thing. Watch me, guys. She's like you. She's got money in the bank. She's got a good amount of income. She's doing just fine. Like she's had a bad year because she was gone for 8 weeks to Turkey to spend time with her family. I said, why do you need to earn income? Why 7 figures? You don't need the money. And she sort of tiptoed around it. Well, it'd be nice and it'd be this. And I go, no, what about this is an absolute must? And she said, $100 million in terms of volume puts me as one of the top agents in all of Palm Springs and Palm Desert. Brady Sandoval is the #1 agent there. She goes, I want to take that #1 position from him. And I watched everything in her being, TD, Tom Daves, change. And she went from it being a good idea to an absolute must. Does that make sense, Brett? I saw it. I saw physiological change. Okay. Like I watched her, right? And I knew at that moment we were on to something. Okay. And then the third question that I always ask, right? So these are questions to ask yourself. Third question I always ask is, what is the sacrifice I am willing to make to hit this for the next 2 to 3 years? What is the sacrifice for the next 24 to 36 months that I'm willing to make to be able to get there? And that right there, when I talk about all the personal growth and development gurus and all their great conversations that they have and all their warm and fuzzy, they never ask that question. It's the question that Mike Ferry said, no one asks. It's the most important one, because will you have some, hey, TD, sacrifice in you being the number one agent for all those years for that other company that had the red sign? Tom, Dave's? I'm asked the question. Were there sacrifices that you had to make in terms of being the number one
100%
agent?
sacrifices. I was just typing in my commitment. I'm committed to have 20 conversations per day for August, 20 conversations every working day for August.
Good.
So that's a sacrifice.
Yep.
And I'm excited to do it.
There are things that you will not look. I'm growing a company right now, guys. I'm speaking all next week. I wouldn't have been able to do this next week because I'm on the road. My son has a football scrimmage on Friday, right? Okay, on the 11th. And by the way, Tom, yeah, that's big. And I love that 20 conversations per day, man. And it will take sacrifices from Renee. It'll take sacrifices from your family. It'll take sacrifices from places you want to be. For me, I won't be able to be at the scrimmage on Friday. I'm gonna do everything I can to fly back, but I'm gonna miss it by 2 hours. Now, I knew, Kristen, that in making this commitment to be able to grow a business, I had to have a conversation with my kids that there, Trevor, will be sacrifices of things I will be able to do and won't be able to do, right? Because I'm creating something amazing. Now, here's the key on this, guys. Please listen carefully. If you don't own that SHIT of the sacrifices that you need to make, when it comes up and you have to make that decision, then you feel guilty about that decision instead of recognizing that it's par for the course and an agreement that you made with yourself. Does that make total sense, guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
It's an agreement. It is an agreement, Don, that I've made with myself. So when I tell my son I can't be there, and it's a conversation I've already had with him about the sacrifice of growing the business. Now, is he okay with that? He's a little bummed, and I get it, right? But at the same time, he's really excited because we're going on a 2-week cruise where we're renting our own boat, right, in the Mediterranean for his graduation present for next year during summer. That sacrifice is like, I can give that up. Now, my daughter, God bless her, I love her to death. She says, Dad, I want to go on a cruise on like Carnival. I'm like, baby, I'm getting us a yacht. It's 130 feet. Are you okay with us having our own boat? Sacrifice, right? So that's number one. All that is the mindset and the change. Does that make sense, guys? That is all just mental conversation. That's the one mistake that people don't make, is they don't attack mentally their 7-figure goal as much as they attack physically in terms of their prospecting. Now, here is number 2. Here is the second piece. And I want you to write this down. I want you to write down 2 numbers for me. Okay. Write down the number 1,440, 1,440. And then underneath that, write down the number $480. 1,440 and $480. By the way, Birdman, I'm having those little bracelets made that on one side say grit, grin, grind, which is sort of the G3, right? And on the other side, it says 480 Club. 480
I love
Club.
it, brother.
Now, 480 Club is not like, for those of you in California, similar to the 420 Club. It's something completely different. The 480 Club, right, is a very important number, right? Okay, 1,440. For those of you that have been at other events that I've led and other events where they've used this number, does anyone know what 1,440 means? It's probably one of the most important numbers anyone will ever share with you in your life. What is it?
How many minutes in a day?
Thank you. Awesome. Sierra, I love it. Okay. It's good to see you. Right. When was where did I see you last?
I didn't go to Build. I was at Shareholders. I don't know if you were there.
I don't know. I think, or were you down in Cabo? Because I like, you look extremely familiar. Anyway, 1,440 right now for me, friends, is the total number of minutes that you have in a day. That's it. So how many minutes you get in a day? By the way, how many minutes did Bill Hewitt of Hewitt Packer get, of HP get in a day? 1,440. Okay, let's put that book over there. What about Michael Dell of Dell Computers? How many did he get?
1,440.
Oh, you got 1,442. Okay, cool. What about this guy, Elon Musk? Did he get like 2,000 minutes in a day? I got 1,440. Trump, 1,440. Walt Disney, 1,440. Watching a special on Bezos, 1,440. Do you get the point, my friends? They all have the same amount of time. You want to earn $1 million in a year. It doesn't mean that you're going to get more minutes, right? Like that's the thing that's the joke, right? Is that it's not that the deck is stacked in your favor. It's that you need to start relating. And I need you to write this down. The mistake that is made is that people take their 1,440 minutes and they relate to it at less than $480 per hour. See, that 480 write down is how much you need to be earning per hour to be able to justify 7 figures in your business and your life. That's your billable per hour is $480 per hour. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Or it could be more. If you're going for 2 million or 3 million, it's a simple calculation. You take your total income goal and you divide it by 2080. 2080 is the number of hours in a year, right? If you work, a full 12 months, right? And so that'll give you your per hour. Now, listen, one of my buddies, guy by the name of John Cheplack, who is like contemporary friend, etc. He said something that I think is really brilliant. I want you to write this down. Write down, I don't have a time management challenge. I have a choice management challenge. I'm choosing the wrong things. I don't have a time management challenge, Ben. I have a choice management challenge. You want to earn better income, then you got to make better decisions as you're looking at your hour. Okay, coming up. Now, this right here, guys, this stays in front of me. That's a picture of me pointing at me saying, you are worth $4,280 per hour. Start acting like it. Damn it. That's my per hour that I need to be able to actually earn in order to be able to actually hit the revenue goals that my company needs to be able to actually hit, right? When I walk in, Treva, in the evening to actually do laundry, guess what I'm thinking? Is this worth $4,000? This is the most expensive laundry guy on the planet right now. What the hell, Matthew, am I doing? See, all of you, how many of you, if I followed you around, would find you engaging in activities that are below that income level, that 480, do you think, guys? Yes or no? Okay. Where I could go, Sierra, dang it. No, you actually putting this like inspection together probably isn't worth $480. It's probably somebody else that could do that for $20 to $25 an hour. When you jump into that hour that it took you to do it, you cost yourself, cost yourself $480. Okay. Right. Love it. Brent, is Brent here? Is Gove here?
Brent Gove, the man.
No, Bill Pipes.
Oh my gosh, man. What's up, baby?
I'm on my way to the airport. I'm flying to Miami right now. So
Going
off
to
to
Miami.
Nantucket Island. But I heard you were here. And I'm
bro.
so I got to show up.
Dude, we're just talking about choice management, man. Like you look at Brent, right? What Brent chooses with his time determines the impact that he has and the income that he earns. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Right now, listen, I will tell you this. Anyone that looks at Brent and doesn't think he's not working hard has got another thing coming. Leading up to Build, I talked to him almost 4 times a week, right? Okay. And guess where he was? I'm down in Phoenix. I'm over here speaking. I'm doing this. See, because Brent recognized the greatest return on his investment when he looked at the time was to be out in front of people, inspiring them and being able to actually get them to build so that they could actually buy in more, take the action they need to take so they could have the life that they want to live, right? There's no substituting it, right? And if I look at, so my friends, number 2 was I've got to recognize my time is much more valuable. I need to treat it that way. And if it's not worth $480, right, I need to give it to somebody else. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make total sense? I need to delegate it to someone. I need to delete it and not do it, right? Okay. Or I need to kick it down the road if it's not that important. But most of the time, it's a delegation game to be able to give it to someone that's doing $20 an hour. Or watch this. So Sierra goes, shouldn't be actually scheduling this inspection. I've got someone over here at $30 an hour that can do it. Wow, $30 hours is a lot. Yeah. But if I take that $30 an hour, subtract it from the $480, Sierra, in essence, put $450 back to her because now she can take that time. She paid the $30 for someone else to do that activity, and she can open up her time to be able to go invest in whatever it is that she needs to do. One of my mentors said to me, Bill, there's one of the key things. You need to be able to do the things you don't want to do long enough and effectively enough so that then you can pay people to do those things that you shouldn't be doing or don't want to be doing, minus prospecting. That's the only thing that doesn't fit inside of that. Okay. And here's number 3. Okay. Third reason that people don't hit 7 figures, they underestimate the amount of prospecting and lead generation that it takes in order for them to be able to actually hit the goal. And they think it's going to stop. And I want you to write that down, that they underestimate, Douglas, Ricardo, the amount of effort it takes on the outbound reaching out to be able to actually get enough business, no matter how much marketing you're doing or following up on those leads, right? In order to be able to actually hit that goal. I see a lot of people, listen, guys, I believe in rev share. I believe in net worth. I believe in you guys being able to actually impact lives. And I also believe in production. And I think that it's a precarious thing that you've got to be able to do is to continue to produce while you're also building out this amazing organization. But if you're going to build out the amazing organization, I look at Kinder, right? Like Jay was up on stage, Brent, and Jay talked about, man, I was out there, I prospect every single day. I prospect every single day. I made calls every single day. I did that every single day, right? Brent made calls every single day. You cannot underestimate the amount of time that it's going to take you in terms of reaching out and having conversations with people, whether you're growing your organization and your revenue share, right? And your FLQAs, or you're growing your real estate business. Now, watch this. When you lead gen every single day, you also attract people that are just like you. And I want you to really understand that. Okay. You attract who you are, not what you want. And I think that's a really important thing when you think about growing your organization. If you want to attract more people who are now, by the way, if someone lead gens every single day, is there a higher probability of them, being able to actually qualify? Yes or no? You guys tell me. Like, big smile on your face. Yes. Like if they're in a lead gen, you better believe it, right? So if I want to attract more people that are similar to that are going to have success, they're going to see the value of EXP, they're going to qualify as well too. Then here's what I can tell you. I need to start being that type of person to attract those types of people. This is not some type of woo-woo, right? It is legitimately we attract and actually end up being around people who we are, not what we want. Don't underestimate the amount of impact that ultimately has. So change the way that you're thinking to be able to actually earn 7 figures. You're earning exactly what it is you need to earn right now based upon the current level of thinking. Number 2, change the way that you relate to what you do and the time that you have. $480 per hour. You can't escape it. Either you're actually pocketing that by the actions that you're taking, or you're a liability to yourself in relationship to that. And number 3, recognize there ain't escaping it. You got to do 1, 2, 3 hours of some type of lead generation, whether that's attraction-based lead generation or whether that is production-based lead generation every single day. Otherwise, your business simply doesn't move forward. And in fact, an hour is for survival, 2 hours is for growth, and 3 hours is for transformation. That's how it works. So TD, I'm going to turn it over to you, baby. Okay. I just want to say thank you for letting me come in, guys. I hope you guys got some good stuff out of this today.
Man, that was amazing. So thank you, Pipes. Hey, if anyone wants to reach out, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Just go to my website, Coach Pipes, www.coachpipes.com. You can send me a DM on my social media. I'm at Coach Pipes on Instagram. Always one of the best ways to be able to actually get a hold of me. So, both those avenues. We are just we are committed, and Brent knows this, and Tom knows this, and Bird knows this, and Yoakum knows this, and Matthew, I think you know this as well too. We're committed to help 1,000 people break over that 7-figure mark over the course of the next 8 to 10 years, right? So that they have that in place, and then they can build the net worth in terms of their organizations through the recruiting and the attraction, and then be able to take what they learn. I mean, here's the game, guys. You hit it first, and then you take what you learn and you give it to somebody else. That's the gift of production, right? Because when you get that system figured out, both on production and attraction, all that you're doing is McDonald's and saying, let me share with you what it is that I learned and how I got there. And then they get to do it. And that's where the joy really comes, man. So thank you, guys.
This is awesome. Pipes, we love you, man. Thank you so much.
Love you, brother.
Okay, y'all
Thanks,
got your
Bill.
inspiration.
Thank you, guys.
Put in the perspiration. Let's go. Hey, we got Freedom Friday this Friday at 9 a.m. We're coming in hot. We're bringing the heat. Thanks, y'all. See you soon. Have a good day.
Thanks for coming by, Brent.
Later, Brent. Thanks, Tom, Don. See y'all.
Thank you, Randy.
See you guys.
Here. Bye, everybody.